Hi everyone, this is Lauren from Tent and Table. So as most of you know, this week we kicked off our 12 Days of Giving and announced the organization that we are partnering with this season. So just in case you missed it, that organization is the Summit Center, which is located right here in Buffalo with us. So I won't talk too much more about it. I'm going to pass it on. Today we have Gabby Albert with us from the Summit Center to tell us a little bit more about the organization and how businesses like ours can help. So really quick, Gabby, how long have you been with the Summit Center? What do you do? Just a little intro about yourself.
Yeah, hi. So my name's Gabby. When I was in college, I actually got an internship as the special events intern working at Summit. From there, I ended up starting to work full time. So between those two, intern and full time, I've been here 2 years. I work in the development department. It's a small department, and we mostly work in event planning with our large events and also smaller events. We work with volunteers, and we also manage all the fundraising for our organization.
Okay, so I guess we'll hop right into it. So, when did your organization form and what led to the formation of the Summit Center?
The Summit Center is a 501c3 organization that serves 8 counties in Western New York. It was actually established in 1973 by Nancy Harris. She was a mother and a teacher who wanted to expand the speech and language skills of her own son. It first started off as a language development program, but then it changed to the Summit Center in 2015 to better reflect the range of programs and services we offer to students. And today we provide evidence-based educational, behavioral health, adult, and community programs to 1,350 children and adults each year.
So, you already touched a little bit about what services you provide. Which of those specifically is the Summit Center most proud of? Like, what impacts the most people here in Western New York?
So yes, we do have a bunch of programs and services. To start to name a few, we have Summit Academy, which is a specialized school for students 3 years old that start in the early autism program to 21 years old, and they have autism, but they also could have other behavioral and social challenges. We have Respite, which is an after-school evening and weekend program to assist families with the burden of care. We have clinic-based behavioral therapy. We have employment training where students work with employment trainers to help them get jobs in the future. We have summer programs, adult day programs, but one that we like to focus on is the early autism program because our CEO, Dr. Stephen Anderson, often says that prevention and early intervention is key for a successful life of the student. So we believe that those younger programs and working with those kids before they really start developing their speech and other, those skills, that's the best way to have a successful, way of learning going forward.
You guys do a lot here in Western New York, and that's really awesome that so many people get to benefit from that.
Yes.
So, how many people with disabilities are impacted daily or monthly by your efforts here? How many people do you serve here in Western New York?
So between all of our programs, Summit Academy, the after school, Respite, and the early autism program, some of those, we serve about 1,350 students across Western New York. And there is a waiting list. So there are a bunch of other students that maybe go to schools, public schools in their district, and they're unable to get to Summit because of the waiting list. So that's why funding is so important, because the more money that we have, we can open up new buildings and new programs and take some of those kids off the waiting list.
I guess to go off that question then, how can someone help your organization directly and contribute to the betterment of these kids in a direct way?
Yeah, so if you want to donate, we are always accepting donations on the website www.thesummitcenter.org. We have a donate link. We also hold virtual events with third parties. For example, this. We also have, before COVID, we had multiple events per year. We have some larger events, and then we would have some smaller ones that sometimes go towards more specific programs. So donating is definitely a way that you can help out. Also, another way is to volunteer. So we have, again, before COVID, we have events where you can reach out and we will have volunteers working at the event. We also have volunteers that used to, and hopefully in the future, come into our building and help out with care in the building and also on the admin side, depending on your training.
So is there one particular success story that really stands out to you guys? Something that I guess showcases the important work that your organization has done and continues to do for individuals with disabilities?
Yeah, so one story that is kind of newer and sticks out in my mind is one of our teachers in one of our classrooms. This was early on, like right when the pandemic started, and we were switching to virtual learning. So our students, a lot of them do have difficulties with virtual learning and also with wearing a mask. And they are older, so they are expected and required to wear masks in certain areas. So it is important to teach them that it is important to wear the mask and also have them more comfortable with it. So we did have one teacher that over her virtual class would every day practice, okay, let's put the masks on and try to have the students get more used to it because again, it's sometimes hard and also it's a sensory problem where they don't really like it on their face. But she would work with them every day. And one day she had the virtual class going and one of the students had his mask on and he said, and she was shocked and she was like, oh, why do you have your mask on today? And he or she said, oh, I know you said that if I wear my mask, that means I'm being a good friend and I want to be a good friend to everyone in my class. So that actually created all the students in the class to like go ahead and put their masks on right at that moment. So that was kind of a cool story to hear how the teachers, they work day in and day out to kind of work on these tasks and different learning that are so important, especially now in the pandemic. And it just shows that the little things are really helpful for them.
Yeah, seriously. That's amazing too that even despite everything going on and having forced to be at home and do everything virtually that you guys can still have an impact on something that doesn't seem like a huge thing to us, but that we like,
Exactly.
we know how big that is. That's awesome.
Exactly. Yeah,
um
something that seems small to us could be a
it's a
bigger
huge
deal for
success.
some of our students. So yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. Thanks for sharing that. As you know, Tent Table, we sell tents and tables. We sell tons of inflatable slides, everything that, it's super fun. So can you talk about the importance of play for the children your organization works with and just for children in general?
It is so important for children to get out and play, especially now with all the technology going on. We kind of see it's not the same. And when it is safe, we always encourage young kids getting out there, being active. For the children, our organization, and the adults that we serve, it is very important for them to exercise, these are great ways to get out and when it's safe to do so, go outside and really, for one, get exercise so that they're having a healthy lifestyle. Two, to practice being social and their social behaviors with the other students that they are with at the time. And also something specific to students that have autism or other developmental disabilities. A lot of times they are overstimulated by their environment, whether it's loud noises or whether it's being constricted in one area. So them, it's a way being able to get outside and be active and bounce in the bounce house or go down the slide or be able to, get that energy out. That's a great way for them to kind of let go of that sensory overload. And it allows them to get back to their normal, like balance and how they feel at their best.
So you've worked with our local sister company, ABC Rental, in the past. Can you tell us about any local in-person events or fundraisers that you're hoping to organize once things safely open back up? We know it's a little different now, but any exciting new events or plans for the future?
Yeah, so we love working with ABC. We worked with them for our walk for many years, providing tents, providing a ton of tables and chairs, whatever kind of supplies we need. And same for our annual party for Summit that we hold. It is an inside event, but again, tables, chairs, we use all that. So we are hoping that once next year or as soon as possible, we are hoping to continue with our walk that is in the spring, usually around April through June. We are hoping that we will be able to work with ABC to, again, have tents because sometimes when it's the events in April, one year it was snowing and the next year it was 70 degrees and sunny.
That's a
So
little
being
better
able
for
to,
you.
yeah, so be able to work with them and have them be flexible on what we need and, putting tents up just as a precaution, but then also having other options is great. So we're looking forward to being able to hold those events in the hopefully near future and working with ABC.
Yeah, we love working with you guys. And like we said, you guys are such an awesome organization. So fingers
Thanks.
crossed that all of this subsides
Yes.
and that we can get back to being a
I
community
know,
doing
right?
things. And yeah, one more to wrap it up. So I know I already talked a little bit about, or asked about, how people can directly help you guys. So this one's a little different. So how can small businesses like Tent Table, and the businesses that our company work with, help or influence young people with disabilities who maybe want to become entrepreneurs themselves?
Yeah, so a great idea is to make donations or do sponsorships for some of the events that we do. If you want to set up a donation form, and you can restrict that to our specific program, the vocational training services, the funding goes to those programs that specifically help them get that day job training and help them find jobs in the real world. You want to make a specific donation and have it go towards a certain equipment item, or even if it's just a certain program that helps those specific, training. That I think that children see that, the children and adults see that we work with, and they know that companies are helping out. And I think that would inspire them if that was something that they were interested in and getting involved in their future.
So it sounds like there's a lot of ways that we can help, whether through direct donations, monetary, um, tools that you guys can implement in day-to-day learning, which is really awesome. Um, so I just want to say thank you so much for hopping on here with us and answering our questions, and bringing a little bit more awareness to such an important thing. Um, and so with that being said, we will post all the links for you guys for the donations, and make sure you guys stay tuned so we can reach our goal and donate a bounce house to the Summit Center.